This show is supported by you. Stick around till the ad break to hear more about that. This is Cup of Go for October 17th, 2025. Keep up to date with the important happenings in the Go community in about 15 minutes per week. I'm Shai Ahmad.
I'm Jonathan Hall.
Sunday, it's my birthday. What are you going to get me for my gift?
How about a new version of Go?
Sounds good. Tell me about it. It's a frustrating birthday because it's like 31. It's not a round number like 30. It's not a round number like 32. Just a weird ass number.
I'm sorry. Maybe you could just skip it this year.
What I'm doing is I'm going school hunting for my kid and probably working. So
nice.
Not a glamorous birthday, but it's going to be very cool next week because there's the Go meetup in San Francisco that I'm hosting.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Fun. Cool. So there is a new version of Go. You might recall last week we had a new version of Go that had a whole bunch of security fixes. They also introduced a regression in that version that enforced overly restrictive validation on the parsing of X.509 certificates. So Go 1.25.2 and 1.24.8 were broken. 1.25.3 and 1.24.9 fixed that regression. So you should upgrade.
What's regression causing? Which is, by the way, shame on us. And we're always like, oh, of course you should immediately upgrade because the patch versions never have any problems.
Right.
So light your pants on fire. But still, it's probably better to upgrade normally than wait too long.
But as for what it broke, based on the description here, if you're parsing iffy X509 certificates, some that should work and be considered valid were not being considered valid. That's what it looks like. So kind of a corner case. I don't think I've ever used X.509 certificates, so probably wouldn't affect me, but I upgraded it anyway.
I like what you usually say, just upgrade. There'll be no problems, right?
Yeah.
So this next blog post, I want to start before diving into it, asking you what's the most like hardcore quote unquote experience you've had while like debugging a bug, like when you felt like you were really investigating some arcane, you know what I mean?
There have been a few cases. I'll just mention one that's still pending. I found a bug, and I just need to take the time to finish the fix. But I found a bug in the database SQL package in the center library in Go. That it's an archaic thing. Most people never care. It's been there forever, which is how I know nobody ever cares. But yeah, I mean, just trying to debug that took a while, and I found the issue, and I have a pending fix that's just needs a little bit more attention from me before it'll be merged. Do
you like doing these sort of things, like deep arcane investigations in these?
It's interesting and it's kind of fun, I guess. Like it's I don't know. It's often frustrating, but I also feel vindicated on the rare occasions when it's like, it actually is a bug in the standard library or the compiler or whatever.
So this is exactly one of those cases where the bug is in the compiler, which is so rare. You know how many times someone told me, oh, I think the language is misbehaving. It's your fault.
Yeah.
And, like very deep bug investigations where you have to go into a thing. It happens rarely. It like reproduces unpredictably. You have to go deeper and deeper into machine code and open it with IDA, which you mentioned you don't even know. Have you ever used IDA?
I don't think I know what it is.
It's like a reverse engineering disassembler tool sort of thing.
Oh, no, I'm sure I've never used it then.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't say it's my white whale because I'm not that passionate about catching it, but I'm really bad at it. My wife is like sitting at home right now doing malware analysis with IDA open. I open it and I'm like transported back to 2012 or whatever when I was trying to learn all this stuff. I had a really tough time. Anyway, all this long preamble about like low level and debugging and compiler bugs is about the Cloudflare blog, how we found a bug in Go's ARM64 compiler, which I highly recommend. Like, if you have, I don't know, people told me they listen to this podcast while running, while walking their dog on the way to work. But if you have like a dedicated reading time when you're actually focused and we're not like in your background, take this link, it's in the show notes, and just like read through it slowly. It's very, very good. In high level, what happened to Cloudflare, because they have, huge scale, they basically run the internet. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That means that, in theory, you can imagine like coverage. You know how you have unit test coverage?
Mm-hmm.
So you could imagine they have coverage for every single edge case, right? A thread switching between every single opcode eventually will happen to Cloudflare just because they handle so many requests. So they began to see these panics, not deterministic, just randomly. Well, quote unquote randomly. They investigated and found out what the problem was only on ARM64 machines, with the traceback not fully unwinding, something like super broken, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they fixed it. Instead of not using panic, they used something else that started causing sec faults. And, they tried to investigate it. Eventually they used core dump and actually looked at the opcodes one by one, which is super hardcore. And I can imagine being in that team at that moment and be like, oh my God, that is actually cool. There is actually a bug in the compiler. It's not our fault. You know what I mean? I could actually imagine being the skeptic in that room.
Of course, yeah.
It's like, it can't be a bug in the compiler. You're doing something wrong.
And in fact, if I were doing that investigation, I would be, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Let me look at this low level stuff to prove my own mistake.
Yeah, to disprove that it's a bug in Go.
Exactly.
Eventually, they discovered the function, the Go routine pauses in the middle of the stack unwinding between the functions, and the compiler adds to add instructions like ADD, assembly instructions. And because Go runtime used to be sync preemption, like a Go routine would tell the runtime I'm ready to leave, and now it's async. It's happening ever since 1.13 or whatever. The stack ends up being in a limbo. It's just corrupted. And because the thread split right in the middle of these add instructions. And this was okay when you thought it was sync preemptive, like when the Go routines told the runtime, now I'm ready, because they wouldn't tell it when they were in the middle of a function unwinding. This is super cool. And yeah, it's a real bug. They have a repro and they have everything, and it's actually fixed in 125. But I'm really happy they put out this blog post. And honestly, with this very, very cool blog post, at the bottom they say this is really cool. If you like this kind of detective work, our engineering teams are hiring. Man, this is the best hiring advertisement I've seen in a long time, and I live in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
So super cool. Really good work from the Cloudflare team. I highly recommend you read it. And Thea Heinen, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Man, we would love to have you on the show. If someone is working at Cloudflare and you can add Thea on the Cloudflare Teams or Slack or whatever, we would love to talk about this, because this is super cool.
Okay.
Talking about tools you're not using. So you're not using IDA. You're also not using Z Shell, right?
Yeah, I don't use Z Shell.
Just Bash?
I typically use Bash.
Do you have any theme installed on your terminal, or is it just the normal theme?
I might have done that many years ago. These days, it's too much work to bother doing that.
Man, you and I are so different sometimes. My shell is bombed out with all the plugins and all the themes and all the colors.
So I used to do that sort of stuff. I used to even have a unique color for each system I would log into, so I could tell just at a glance I'm logged into this machine or that machine or whatever. Over time, though, as I started upgrading machines, getting new laptops, having multiple machines, it was just too much work to keep that in sync and get it set up every time. I just gave up.
Mm-hmm.
So
I went through the pain of putting it in dot files in GitHub. I update them once a year or whatever. It's like doing your taxes. Anyway, why am I talking about Z Shell versus Bash?
Yeah, so if you use ZSH, Z Shell, and you are a user of MVDAN's sh. Is that how you pronounce it?
Someone listening to this podcast in an open office or something. We know what we're talking about, but it just sounds like ancient. If you use MVDAN sh. A couple of white guys trying to learn Chinese or something.
So sh or sh, I don't know how you pronounce it, is a shell parser written in Go by Daniel Marti, who's been on the show before too. And it supports POSIX, Bash, and Muksh, MKSH. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that one either. But he's made some progress on adding ZSH support, which was requested by Carlos, who's also been on our show before, back in 2017. So almost a decade ago, he made the request to add support for Z Shell. And just last week, Daniel says, I have finally made some progress worth sharing. I've spent about 20 hours the past few weeks doing the groundwork and have support for ZSH in a branch. But he also adds this little caveat. It took him 2 years to add Bash support on nights and weekends. So don't get too excited about complete Z Shell support just yet. But the groundwork has been laid. And so that's pretty cool for anybody who does use Z Shell and needs to parse Z Shell in a Go program.
Very cool. Is that enough to convince you to try to move to Z Shell?
Nope. Not a chance.
One interesting thing for me is like how much effect do these tools have, right? Like, can you imagine the decision of, I'm at some company and I need to develop some Z Shell like script, and all the company uses MacBooks, but because the shell parser only has Bash support, all the scripts are Bash and all the things are Bash, and because we deploy to Linux, it's all Bash. Like, there's a lot of justification. And then, like, Daniel working on the weekends a little bit on making this work, or a lot. Like, I'm not belittling how much work this is, but just working on this on the weekends could change, like, the tide of how many people use Z Shell versus how many people use Bash, like, once it's delivered. Because these sort of things, like formatters, linters, parsers, they end up being used in everything, like IDE. Like, this is capital L library, you know what I mean? I'm wondering, like, if just Daniel liked Z Shell a bit more, what were the chances? It's also cool to see, people from the show, like 2 people that were on the show talking outside the show. It's like when a couple of your friends that you introduce suddenly hang out outside of your friend group.
I don't think we introduced these guys. They were talking together on this issue years before we started our show.
Oh no, we're the second thing. We're not the first.
Got it.
We're the hanging out after work. Well, I do use Z Shell, and by the way, at work, because we all have MacBooks, I'm like pretty strict about all the shebangs on the top are Z Shell. They're not Bash, because I don't want to mess with syntax. All our AI agents are like strictly instructed to write the thing using Z Shell. Don't write it using Bash. So this is good. This is good stuff. Exactly the other way around from what I'm saying. Did I just say that I force Z Shell? I meant the other way around. I meant that we all use Bash just because we don't have all this. But I will change it to Z Shell once this happens, which is great.
Yeah,
Jonathan, people have told me I am unreliable, so I'm going to stick to my word. It's been around 15 minutes. We're going to go to the ad break. As I mentioned on the top of the show, this show is supported by you. We really want to thank all our Patreons. Ria Dennis, thanks for joining our Patreon this week. It's really nice that almost every week we have new Patreons. It's also very cool if you've been around for a while and you've already donated a lot of money, like for you to back out. I really want to say that. But we appreciate you. We pay for hosting. We pay for editing, hosting the store, hosting the site, whatever. So this helps us directly offset the cost of that. If you want to reach us, you can do so in cupago.dev, in the Gopher Slack, #cupago, kebab case with hyphens, or email us at news@cupago.dev. That is news@cupago.dev. Other ways to support the show, including buying our new swag. We have a ton of new swag. Basically, last week, Jonathan and I were like procrastinating starting the show. So we just sat around for an hour and added new swag. We've been talking about it for a while, so we actually unprocrastinated the other thing. But we have Go Sucks socks. We have a brand new huge Cupago sticker that's like 4" by 4", says Cupago on it. We have a new hat. It hasn't arrived to my home yet, but I'm very excited. Like, it should be here any day now. A new like baseball cap. And we still have the cups, the T-shirts, which I sleep with them, to be honest, at this point, because like I've had them for 2 years.
You sleep with your cups and T-shirts?
I sleep in my cup. I'm a little just because it's nice and cozy in there.
Of course.
And the sweatshirt, which is like my number one sweatshirt. I actually keep it at work, and then because I don't know what's up with the HVAC company in WeWork, but they blast the AC here to the maximum.
Mm-hmm.
And this Brewster's hooded sweatshirt is the only thing keeping me warm. And of course, the infamous wireless charger,
Of course.
of which one unit was sold in the last 2 years. So a lot of new swag, which is fun. And I think we also updated our logo on Transistor to the simpler version. So yeah, a lot of on Capago.dev, we have a new favicon. So a lot of new stuff. And we highly recommend you check out the new swag. It should be pretty good. One other thing, what people should do if they're in San Francisco next week?
They should come join you for a live recording of the next episode.
Woohoo! Yeah. Which you will not, right? Because you're going to go west.
Yes, I will be in Utah preparing to speak at a conference, so I will not be there.
And we're really hoping you can make it to the episode, but it's not 100% sure because you maybe have a dinner. We'll see if we can make it work.
I'll try to pop in for a few minutes if I can.
Yeah, worst case, I'll record the rest of the episode with the audience, which should be fun. We have actually a pretty cool lineup going on for this specific meetup. And I've gotten, I don't want to talk about it too much, but I've gotten a lot of excitement about these meetups. 3 separate people reached out to me and were like, I want to help you arrange the next one. I'm offering to host the next one already. So we'll unveil this in the meetup. But if you're a listener, you get a sneak preview. We are actually going to set up the next 2 meetups already, one in January, one in April. Nice. With the new organization team, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Bleeker-Snyder is going to talk. We're going to do a live episode recording. James Heller is going to talk, and Max Demulin is going to talk. So lots of interesting topics. Should be great fun. And we already have 30 attendees, which is pretty good for the week before. Awesome. So please sign up to that. Link in the show notes. If I'll remember to put it in there. But if not, it's meetup.com, go SF.
We'll put it in there.
Lightning round time?
Let's do it.
Lightning round.
First up this week, Quiz.
You're with the pronunciation today. By the way, can we stop for a second? Stop the lightning round. Stop the lightning round. It's shell and Z shell and
Zush.
The only problem is bash because bash is a word, but all the other is and fish. Things that aren't a word, it's and shell.
And schmod and all those
shell
things.
Mod. Right?
No.
SH
mod.
You just replace
it's change mod, but I call it schmod.
Oh, schmod?
Yeah, lots of people call it schmod.
Yeah. That's an interesting one.
I think this goes back decades to all these short names in Unix get shortened even when they're pronounced sometimes.
Yeah, but you don't say "z," right? You say "ls."
I say "ls," yeah.
And you don't say
I say
CD for change directory.
CD, mkdir, armdir.
Really? Mkdir?
Mkdir.
I think we should do an episode where we just read all the Unix commands one by one and compare pronunciations. But it's definitely Z shell and not Zish.
Zish.
So anyway, what's
we're talking? It's QuickJS. It's a new JavaScript runtime in Go. And I'm going to be checking it out. I have a project that uses Goja, Goja. This claims to be faster than Goja. So I'm going to check it out when I have a chance and I have some spare cycles.
My solution so far has been to run V8.
You can do that too. My reason for not doing that is I wanted a pure Go solution, and V8 just links in the C libraries, which is fine if that's what you want. But I wanted something that.
But it's for this use case. If cool. Mine is way less useful, but way cooler. Do you watch anime? Any anime?
I do not.
Another difference between us.
Yes.
You don't do any of the cool programming things.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, I guess it's like a programmer type.
I mean, I do program in Go regularly, so that's something cooler than what you do.
That's the coolest, for sure. So there's a thing called Kaizen, which is a pure Go. I don't know if it's pure Go, but it's a Go thing that lets you watch anime on the terminal.
Oh.
It's definitely a fun project and not an important project. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because on Reddit, they were the 2.1 version is on its way. with enhanced video playback, optimized APIs, and now with a poster of the anime in your terminal itself. And they're like posting it on Reddit, I think, hoping for stars and some contributors, which honestly, if someone told me, I have a passion project on the weekend, I developed a terminal movie anime viewer, I would be like, okay, this person might be cracked. And there's a video on the, like a recording of how it works. And it seems to work. So I'm excited about it. I might even try it. Probably not, but I might even try it.
I have so many questions that are not appropriate for a lightning round, so I'll save them.
Yeah, let's keep them later. I'll just say, if you need a recommendation for an anime, I think anybody, it doesn't matter if they're into anime or not, can watch. What's the show name? See, probably the only anime I watched. Brotherhood. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I highly recommend it. Top 10 shows for sure.
Not to be confused with Princess Beef Heavy Industries, which also sounds like a good anime team.
Oh man, he could actually do an anime. Okay, let's stop, because now with Sora, these ideas can actually go into production. No. All right, thanks a lot for listening, everybody. Next week, extremely special live episode in San Francisco, and if you can make it, I would be so happy to meet you there. But if you can't, you'll listen to the episode after. But live, we're gonna edit it. We're just gonna record it live. All right.
Filmed and heard a live studio audience.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you all so much for listening. Program exited.